Hello, happy Thursday. Welcome to Exercise with Exos. Jazzy here, program manager with Exos at Autodesk. We've got a fun workout planned for us today. So we're going to do 3 rounds today, 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds rest. We've got total body workout coming up. We do not need any equipment today. If you would like to, as always, you can always add weight to make things a little bit more challenging if you need it, but not required for any of our workout today. So gonna go ahead and get started with our demos here. So we're gonna start off on the ground. We're gonna do, oh, my camera's off a little bit. Whoops. There we go. All right, so we're gonna do plank arm raises here. So these can either be done from your toes or from your knees. I like to do these from my knees to help engage my core a little bit more, but either way, we want to be nice and flat through our back. So we're nice and straight from our head to our toes. We're going to lift one arm and then come back down, and then the other arm and back down. So then if you're from your knees, nice and straight again from our head to our knees, alternating one arm at a time. Then our next movement here is going to be a 1.5 squat. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up, we're going to start all the way at the top. We're going to stand with our feet hip width apart. We're going to squat down, halfway up, all the way back down, all the way back up. So the goal is to get as low as we can. 1 rep is going all the way down, halfway, all the way down, all the way back up. So that is going to be our squat movement. And then I might not like me for this later. That's okay if you don't either. We're going to do a push-up into a pike push-up. So again, just like with the planks, it can either be from the hands or from the toes, whatever is available, feels most comfortable. So if you're from your toes, you're going to be doing your push-up, keeping those elbows nice and tight, push the ground away, push those hips up, and then do a pike push-up there. So you're going to be coming down, pushing up, and pushing up. If you are on your knees for your push-ups, same thing. You're just going to tuck your toes, push your feet up, and then do that push-up, which is likely, again, what I'm going to be doing there. So that's our third movement here. And then next up after that, we're going to go ahead and do some glute bridge marches. So we're going to flip over on our backs, keeping those feet still hip width apart. We're going to push those hips up, holding up nice and high, keep those glutes nice and tight. Keep the core nice and tight, so engage that core, and then one knee at a time, going to come up. We're going to march ourselves away, working on our glutes and our core. So that is going to be our 4th movement, and then 5th movement here, we're going to do some lateral bounds. So what that means is it's kind of like a ski jump, if you know what that is. So we're going to start on one foot. We're going to gather ourselves. So when I say that, what I mean is the hips are going to go back, slight bend in the knee, and then we're going to drive up and land nice and soft on that other foot. So we're going to go left, and then the other foot, gathering, landing nice and soft. So if you notice, as I land, I kind of land with my feet, again, nice and soft, and then coming out that way. So that is going to be our lateral bound. And then, there we go. Someone moved my station. All right, and then last thing what we're going to do here is we're going to do some lateral marching or skipping, whatever feels good for you today. I'm probably going to just march, but we're going to move in one direction and then the other direction. So we're going to get that knee up, pushing off, driving those hands, and then going the other way. And then if we are skipping, I always get thrown off with this one. We're going to come over, we're going to double tap as we bring that foot over. Wait, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, we're just gonna march. We're gonna forget that we're marching. So that's where our last movement is gonna be the lateral march. And then we're gonna do that 3 times through, 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of rest. So let's go ahead and get started with our warm up. And we're gonna start in the top of our space with the world's greatest stretch. So we're gonna take a nice big deep breath. We're gonna interlace our fingers, grab onto the right knee, pulling the right knee towards the chest. Nice big deep breath. We're going to exhale, go ahead and step back into a reverse lunge, hands on the inside of our front foot. Keeping that back leg nice and straight. We're going to take a nice big deep inhale, and we're going to exhale, bringing the left arm up towards the ceiling. We're gazing past that thumb, getting that rotation through the spine. Nice big deep breath. And we're gonna exhale, plant the hand on the outside of our front foot, push ourselves up into that hamstring stretch. Nice, big, deep belly breath. And we're gonna exhale and bring our feet together and stand on up. All right, time for the other side. Interlace those fingers, grab onto the left knee. Keep that balance. Nice, big, deep breath. And we're exhaling, stepping back into that reverse lunge, hands on the inside of our front foot. Keeping that back leg nice and straight. We're gonna take a nice, big, deep breath. And we're gonna exhale, bringing the right hand up towards the ceiling. Still keeping that back leg nice and straight. Nice, big, deep breath. And we're gonna exhale, plant that hand on the outside of our front foot, push ourselves up into a hamstring stretch. And nice, big, deep breath. We're gonna exhale, bring our feet together and stand on up. Awesome. All right, last part of our warm up here. We're gonna go ahead and get on the ground on our hands and knees. We're gonna get our hips nice and warmed up. We got a lot of leg stuff going on today. So we're gonna go ahead and do some quadruped rocks here with our nice adductor stretch. So I'm gonna start with my right foot straight out to the side. Keep that pinky toe on the ground. Keep that core nice and tight. We're gonna inhale, rock back. And exhale, coming forwards. We're gonna do 3 of those on each side. Moving at a nice pace, holding for a few seconds at the bottom. And last one, inhaling, rock back. And exhaling, coming back forward. All right, so once we're done with our 3 with our right leg out, it's now time to bring our left leg out to the side. So again, keeping that core nice and tight. Pinky toe stays on the ground. We're gonna inhale, rock back. And exhale, going forward. And we're gonna do 3 on this side. And last one. Awesome job. All right. Once we finish that last one, we are ready to rock and roll. So I'm going to get my timer ready here. Whoops. Reset. All right. So we're going to do that 3 rounds through 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of rest. Getting started here with our plank arm raises, going in 3, 2, 1, and go. So we're on our hands and toes or hands and knees. Again, whatever is most available to us today. Regardless if we are on our knees or our toes, we're going to keep that core nice and tight. We're going to try and stay nice and stable. So trying to keep, we have our headlights on our hips, we're blind in the ground. This is also why I like to be on the knees, because I feel like I twist a little too much when I'm on my toes. This one, we're working on the core, feel it a little bit more in the core if you're on the knees. If you're on that toes, really engage that core, making sure it's engaged before you lift one of your arms up. 3, 2, 1. All right, we're gonna go ahead and stand on up next for our 1.5 squats. So we're gonna go all the way down, all the way up. Sorry, all the way down, halfway up, all the way down, all the way up. 3, 2, 1. I feel like it's been a while since we've done any squats in this class. So we're going all the way down and then coming halfway up, making sure that we're keeping that core nice and tight so our back is nice and flat. So if we tuck our pelvis, so instead of standing like this, we're gonna bring our butt to our belly button, lock it in place with that core. Knees are gonna go over our second toe, pushing the ground away as we stand back up. Great job, really focusing on pushing the ground away. We're gonna feel this in our quads, a lot in the quads, a little bit in those glutes and hamstrings, and mainly in our quads today. 3, 2, 1. All right, nice job. Lots of tension on those ones. Okay, next up, we're gonna do our push-up into our pike push-up. So lots of pushing. I think I might regret this a little bit later. 3, 2, 1. So on our push-ups, either from our toes or from our knees, making sure we're nice and straight on both of our types of push-ups. We're keeping those hands nice and tight. So we want about 45-degree angles here. So really keeping those elbows nice and tight, And then same thing on those pike push-ups. Great job. It's not something that we have to go super quick with. Want to get nice quality reps in here. Great job. 3, 2, 1. Oh man, my shoulders are already feeling it. All right. Next up, we're gonna flip on over onto our back. We got our glute bridge marches. So we're getting ready. I'm gonna face this way. 3, 2, 1. Keep those hips up nice and high. Push through that whole foot, and then one knee at a time, driving up. So we're gonna keep one glute engaged, drive that other opposite knee up. Great job. Keep alternating those knees here. Keep that core nice and tight. This is one of my favorite glute and core exercises. And core too, I don't necessarily mean our abs, but I also mean our low back as well. It's a good pillar movement, shoulder, hips, and torso. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next up, we are going to stand on up, and we're going to do our lateral bounds. And I thought my AirPods weren't connected for a second. 3, 2, 1. I think my brain is all over the place today. All right, we're gathering ourselves, pushing those hips back, exploding up, landing nice and soft. So landing on that whole foot, nice and soft. So we want to go as far as we can, as wide as we can. We're pushing through our glute. So when I say gather ourselves, instead of standing and jumping this way, we want to really gather. So pushing those hips back, bending that knee slightly, drive that opposite knee up, landing nice and soft. So we're gathering ourselves as we land. So that way it's kind of like a spring. So we're pulling ourselves back, we're coiling, releasing, jumping. We're coiling back, releasing. 3, 2, 1. All right, next up, we have our lateral marches. If you can figure out the skips today, feel free to do that. My brain isn't working like that. 3, 2, 1. I think I have a mush brain today. So marching or skipping, if you can figure out the skips. Pushing off, so if you're going, so now this time I'm going towards the left, so I'm pushing off the inside of my right foot as we bring that knee up and drive over. So keeping that core nice and tight. So now we're going to the right, driving off of the inside of the left foot. Great job. Lateral movement is really important if we like to run or if we like to really do anything, because it's really easy to hurt ourselves if we're trying to like avoid someone going off the sidewalk. 3, 2, 1. All right. Did I miss something? That's round 1. I did it all. Okay, we're good. So we're gonna start off with the plank arm raises. Again, so we're getting on the ground. 3, 2, 1. For plank arm raises, coming up one arm at a time. Keeping our hands right underneath those shoulders. So making sure, because if our hands are out too far, we're putting that pressure on the shoulder joints. I feel like I'm angled here today. And alternating one arm at a time, keeping that core nice and tight. So if we tuck our pelvis, so that back is going to be nice and flat, we want to push those hips far enough forward so that we are like a board, not like a tabletop. Same thing with if we're doing it on our toes, keeping that core nice and tight. 3, 2, 1. I don't know if y'all just noticed that, but when I was trying to do that, I tilted a little bit too much. So that's why I like doing it from the knees. All right, we're going to stand on up. We got 1.5 squats coming up. 3, 2, 1. So feet hip width apart, toes forward. Let the inside part of your knee track right over that second toe. So you got a nice straight line there. Halfway up, all the way down, all the way back up. So you don't have to go down as far as I do. If that mobility is not there for you, that is okay. You can always work up towards that. I have lots of stretches that we can do in order to help with that. So just let me know if you'd like to have a deeper squat. If not, that's okay. Go as low as you can and then come up, and then low as you can and right back up. I want that time under tension. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next up, we have our push-up into our push-up. Regular push-up into our pike push-up. And again, knees or toes, whatever's available. 3, 2, 1. I think y'all know by now I always recommend challenging yourself. So if you normally go from the knees, try and do your push-ups from your toes. But we're working towards that strength. So I do prefer using my knees because one, I cannot do as many push-ups from my toes. And the second reason behind that is when I am on my knees, I really engage my chest a lot better because I'm focusing on pushing off the ground versus like holding my body weight. So that's why I prefer that too. 3, 2, 1. All right. Nice job. We got our glute bridge marches coming up next. So we're halfway through with round 2. So we're going to do glute bridge marches. 3, 2, 1. So feet hip width apart, kind of close to our butt here. I don't really have a distance for y'all, so I apologize for that. And we are marching. So what I like to do is pretend like I have a plane of glass sitting at my hips, and each time you march, you break that glass with your knee. Breaking our glass, keeping that core tight, making sure our pelvis is tucked out, so that way we are not arching that low back. We want to use our glutes and our core, not our back today. Great job. Keep pushing. 3, 2, 1. All right. Standing back up, we have our lateral bounds, and then we'll do our marches, and then we'll do one more round, and then we will cool down. 3, 2, 1. Sorry, I just realized I coughed into my AirPods. My apologies there. It's a little drying here today. So we are gathering, hips back, explode. So like I was saying at the end of last round, we're like a coil, like a spring. So we're gonna pull it and we're gonna release it. Or rubber band, even better, rubber bands. So like a rubber band. So we're pulling that rubber band tight and we're releasing, jumping nice and slow. By slow, I mean soft. So use those glutes, use our balance. Great job. Landing nice and soft, protect those joints. 3, 2, 1. All right, great job. Last thing, we have our lateral marches. Then we'll do one more round and we'll cool down. If you want to skip, feel free to skip. 3, 2, 1. I just don't remember what foot to pop in. All right, we're driving our knees up, keeping that core nice and tight. We're also standing nice and tall. So if you notice from this angle, I'm not bending forward. We're nice and tall. So we got something squeezed here, either an orange or cracking an egg right here. Keeping that nice and tall. We're pushing off the opposite foot of the direction we're going, keeping that core nice and tight, getting those knees as high as we can. Kind of like we're stepping over something. Great job. A few more seconds here, keep pushing. 3, 2, 1. All right. Nice job. 2 rounds down, 1 to go. We're going to start with our plank arm raises. We're going to get back on the ground. Getting ready here. 3, 2, 1. So either on the knees or on the toes. Keeping that core nice and tight. One arm at a time. Keeping that pelvis tucked, so butt to belly button. And then we're alternating our arms here. And then if you're on those toes, keep that core nice and tight. Try not to let our hips swing back and forth. So we got our headlights on our hips. We're blinding the ground right now. Great job. Finishing strong. Last time doing this. Great job. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next up, we have our 1.5 squats. We're going to stand on up. Okay. Standing up. We're going to stand with our feet hip width apart. And ready to go in 3, 2, 1. So we're going to go all the way down, halfway up, all the way down, all the way back up. So letting that knee track past our second toe. From the single right over the second toe. So we got a line here, a line on this way. So the inside part is over the second toe, pushing through the heel big toe, little toe. So we got that tripod going. Making sure that we're not coming too far on the toes, also not rocking back on the heels. Great job. Finishing strong here. I got a few more movements after this. 3, 2, 1. All right, great job. Next up, we have our push-up into our push-up. Throwing it back on the ground, either from the knees or from the toes. Getting ready. 3, 2, 1. Pushing up, keeping those arms nice and tight. We want it to be almost like we're aiming to touch our torso with our elbows. We have a slight flare. What I like to imagine is that like we're pretending that we're opening a door. So when we open a door, our hands start here, like we're leaving the building, our hands start here and we push out in front of us, right? So our elbows are nice and tight, pushing here versus out here. So keeping those elbows tight, elbows in, pushing the ground away. Great job. Time for maybe one more. 3, 2, 1. All right. Time to flip over on our backs. We got glute bridge marches coming up next. Then we got bounds and regular marches, and we're done. 3, 2, 1. Hips up nice and high. One knee at a time. Break that glass. Keep, so if we're bringing the right knee up, that left glute is super engaged. The core is nice and tight. We're driving through the core. So we're pulling with the core, not with our hips. I find it very easy to let those hips take over. I see it happen a lot in dead bugs, in like leg raises, single leg lowering, things like that. So same thing, keep that core nice and tight. Great job. We got a few more seconds to go. We're finishing strong here. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next up, we have our lateral bounds. We're gonna bound and we're gonna march. No, maybe not for the day. 3, 2, 1. So we're bringing those hips back, jumping, landing nice and soft, gathering. So we're that rubber band, pull that rubber band tight and release. You don't have to go super fast and go as far as you can while you're keeping that stability here. I keep falling because I'm like, whew, all over the place today. All right, we're pushing those hips back, loading up and jumping. So we're here, come back, push those hips back, get in that nice loaded position, spring and release. If you need to take a second between each one to stabilize, definitely do that. 3, 2, 1. All right. Last movement of the day, we have lateral marches. Skips if you figured it out. I didn't, so we're marching. 3, 2, 1. Chest up, nice and tall, pushing off the inside foot of the direction that you are going. This way. If you're going to the right, push off the left. If you're going to the left, push off the right. Those knees up. Great job. Kind of reminds me a little bit of like maybe like being a hurdler. He's got one leg coming up. Don't know if that's really correct. That's what we're gonna imagine today. Great job. We're finishing strong here. Only got a few more seconds. Going side to side. Those knees up. 3, 2, and 1. We are done with today's class. Nice job. Grab a sip of water if you need it. And we're gonna go ahead and make our way onto the ground for our cool down. And we're gonna go ahead and be on our side today. So I'm gonna start off on the side. I'm gonna start off on my left side. You can start off on whichever side you'd like. And we're gonna do some pretzel because we did a lot of leg stuff today. So we're gonna take that top leg up, over, and across. Bottom hand on that top knee. Top hand grab onto that bottom foot or ankle. Inhale to prepare. And we're gonna exhale, opening up. So really try and get that shoulder to the ground. We're gonna do nice, big, deep inhales. And slowly exhaling. Breathe into the tight areas we feel. Really let those areas relax. Let that body calm down. Let that heart rate calm down. Really just fully relaxing into this position. And let's go and do one more deep breath here. And after we have finished that exhale, we can gently release that bottom leg. And feel free to roll over onto your other side. We're gonna do that same thing on the other side. So we'll take that top leg up, over, and across. Bottom hand on top knee. And then with that bottom leg, we're gonna grab onto it with our top arm. Inhaling to prepare. And exhaling, bringing that top shoulder towards the ground. Same thing here, nice big deep breaths. It's gonna help us open up our chest as well after all those push-ups. It also never hurts to stretch out that chest after being at the computer for the majority of the day. Release all the tension, let the body come down, the mind come down, heart rate come down. And let's go ahead and do one more deep breath in this position. And as we've finished that exhale, we can gently release out of that. And you're more than welcome to stay laying on the ground. That is going to be all the time I have for today's class. So thank you for joining me. We do have dance coming up right now with John. If you want to get out the class, if you're already sweating, might as well. If not, we do have our new class, Stretch and Stability, tonight at 4 with Quinn. So that would be a really good class to add to what you're already doing. So thank you all for coming. Feel free to join in whenever you'd like with anything else we're doing. And I'll see y'all again soon.